Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am bringing you a Disney tip video. This video is related to the Walt Disney World parks, and it's going to be 10 quick tips that I personally use for every vacation, and I definitely think that they are vitally important to enjoying every moment that you have at Walt Disney World. Now, if you have any questions regarding any of these tips or any information that I have given, please feel free to comment below, and I will do my best to answer them in the best way possible. And if you would like to see any further tip videos, such as packing lists or what's in my Disney park bag, please feel free to let me know in the comments below, and I will work on those for you as soon as I can. Let's get right into it. The first tip that I have for you is the time of year that you should visit. You should try very hard to avoid the peak season, which is summer and of course any holidays. I would say try to visit from the late fall through the early spring, but also be wary that in the late fall you will run into the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party and the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. So also avoiding those parties, you'll want to try to get in there somewhere, anywhere from October, maybe late September, October, all the way through like April. But once you start getting into May and June, that's when you really start hitting peak season. It's going to be very hot, very crowded, and unless you absolutely have to go at that time of year for school reasons or work reasons, you really want to avoid that if at all possible. One thing that I really like to do as soon as I know the dates that we are going on our Disney World vacation is to sit down and kind of plan a general itinerary for our trip for us. And I do this by first looking at all of the extra magic hours. So we rarely do morning extra magic hours except for the Animal Kingdom, but we always do evening extra magic hours. So what I'll do is I'll look at all the evening extra magic hours, plug those afternoons in. Since we always get park hoppers and we're able to do multiple parks in one day, I generally plug all those parks in, and then I'll just kind of start plugging the mornings based around when my Animal Kingdom morning hours are. And also I try to get each park at least twice during each trip. Now it really depends on the park, because like right now Hollywood Studios we wouldn't do twice. But once it has Toy Story Land and Star Wars Land, we will definitely do that twice, maybe even 3 times during a trip. And with Animal Kingdom, we usually do that from open to close one day and then make the rest of the day a pool day at the resort. So we try to not go there more than once because we spent the entire day there versus actually going there for just a morning or just an afternoon. So I will do that. I will kind of plan out all my mornings and all my afternoons, and then when my 180-day mark rolls around and I can book my dining reservations for my entire trip, I kind of have an idea of where I'm going to be at any given time. So I also keep this very lenient, because you might not be able to get a dining reservation for Tuesday morning at the Rainforest Cafe, but you may be able to get one on Thursday morning at the Rainforest Cafe. So if I'm not tied down to extra magic hours, or if I'm like, I'd rather have the dining reservation than the extra hour, I could always flip that around, switch some parks somewhere. With Rainforest Cafe, I probably wouldn't do that, but it really depends on what it is. Like if I was trying to get maybe a Cinderella's Castle reservation, if I had a little girl and she really wanted to go to Cinderella's Castle, I would try so hard to make sure that I got that reservation. I know a lot of people are having the same thing with Be Our Guest, where they kind of have to move their days and switch things around so that they can get into that reservation. Now, at that point, once I've got all my dining reservations made, I know which park I'm starting in every single morning, so that when my 60-day mark comes around for my fast passes, I'm like, okay, I know that on Monday morning I'm in Magic Kingdom, on Tuesday morning I'm in Hollywood Studios, so I know exactly which park I need to book my fast passes for day to day. so I can sit down and just book them all and try to get them all. I try really, really hard to get them all before noon. Now, sometimes that does not work out, and you have to stay over a little later. And generally, when it's like a park such as Magic Kingdom, I'm like, okay, well, we'll just stay the whole day that day and go just for the extra magic hours at Epcot or something of that nature. Everybody does it a little bit differently, but that is the way I like to do it. I like to give myself a general idea, do my dining. My dining sets it in concrete, and then do my fast passes. And by the time I've done my fast passes, I already have in my head, I'm so excited on the first day we're going here, you know, and I know what rides I'm riding because I definitely have at least 3 fast passes, so I have at least 3 rides I'm getting on. But that is my general tip, is to just go ahead and start from the basics, start with your extra magic hours, then look at, you know, trying to plug them in as many times as you want, then dining, then fast passes. This brings me right into the next point, which is never skip any of your reservations. You can make dining reservations 180 days or 180 days plus 10 out, depending on whether you are staying off-site or on-site. If you are staying on-site, this is the best case scenario. You can make your dining reservations 180 days out plus 10 days. So technically 190 days out if you're looking at the start of your trip. So it's 180 days from the first day of your trip. However, if you're staying for 7 days, you can technically make your reservations for 187 days out, because you can make a reservation for the last day of your trip. Now, if your trip is more than 10 days, you'll, of course, each day will be pushed back. But then if you are not staying on site, you're staying off site, you can make dining reservations 180 days ahead of time, but you don't get that nice big window. And a lot of times reservations run out because people are using that window. So that's definitely one perk to staying on site. You also have your Fastpass reservations, which, depending on if you're on or off site, will be on site is 60 days ahead of time, and off site is 30 days ahead of time. And Fastpass reservations, especially for the higher ticket rides, go so quickly. That 30 days makes a huge difference. And when it comes to early reservations, keep in mind that if you want to get into a park early by making a character dining reservation, you can do so, and you'll be able to go into the parks before they actually open, which is pretty cool because you'll have pretty good opportunities to like take pictures of the castle if you're at Magic Kingdom. There are 3 locations currently at Walt Disney World that have early morning reservations that occur before their park opens. The first one is at Crystal Palace, which is at Magic Kingdom. You have Tusker House at the Animal Kingdom, and Akershus, which is in Epcot. And all 3 of those are character dining experiences. As most of you know, I am a huge fan of staying on site at Walt Disney World. There are just far more pros than there are cons to me, and I just could not ever see actually staying off site because of how much extra money I would spend on things that are given to you in your room price when you stay on site. The first being that you get free transportation in 2 ways. You get free transportation from the airport to your resort hotel when you arrive in Florida, and that's only if you fly into the Orlando International Airport. There are other ways, such as a Mears shuttle, that you can get to the resorts if you fly into another airport. You just have to work that out. But if you fly directly into Orlando International, you can get on the Magical Express, go directly to your resort hotel, and be immersed immediately in the Disney magic. You also get free transportation in that you are able to take a bus or a boat or whatever means there happens to be, including the monorail, from your resort to each park. You can also use these buses to get to other hotels. You can get them to other areas, such as if you're doing the Hoop-de-Doo dinner show, you would take the bus to Fort Wilderness and from there go to the Hoop-de-Doo dinner show. there's just all different ways that you can get around the Disney resorts. You'll just have to kind of plan your bus route. You also get extra magic hours, so you can stay late at the parks or go to the parks early when the general public is not yet allowed in or is not allowed to stay over. You can also do your dining reservations 180 days plus 10 in advance. So that 180-day mark is from the very first day of your trip, and then you get an additional 10 days onto that. So if you're staying for 7 days, your dining reservations go for the whole trip, starting 180 days out from your very first day, which is awesome because sometimes having those extra days is what makes or breaks your ability to get a dining reservation. You also have the ability to do Fastpass Plus reservations 60 days in advance, which gives you an extra 30 days on the people who stay off site. That 30 days, when it comes to hard to get fast passes, such as the new Frozen ride at Epcot, can really, truly make a huge difference. You also have the ability to be on the Disney dining plan, which for some people is a really excellent perk. I personally don't ever use the dining plan. However, a lot of people like to have their entire trip, including food, paid for before they go. And this way you can just scan your Magic Band, another thing that you get for free when you stay at a Disney resort hotel, and you can eat off of that. Now, going back to Magic Bands, you do not get those for free if you don't stay in a hotel on the Disney property. So if you are staying off-site, you would have to purchase your own Magic Band, or you could do it the old school way with just the paper ticket, the paper memory maker. However, there are certain things that do not seem to work when you're not using the Magic Band. For instance, I think ride photos, I'm not 100% for sure, but I think ride photos you can't get on your memory maker unless you have the Magic Band, because you'll go up to the screen where the ride photos are and you scan your Magic Band and it'll put that picture that you just saw on the screen on your Magic Band. You can also send purchases to your hotel. And so if you, in the middle of the day, have decided to purchase something and you just don't want to carry it around all day, but you were afraid that you wouldn't get back to that shop, you can instead send your purchase directly to your Disney Resort hotel and it will be there for you. That way you don't have to lug around everything that you buy. People who really love souvenirs and love souvenir collecting will find that is an excellent perk. Tip number 5 is to get the memory maker. I absolutely love the memory maker. I'll say this in every video, every single time. The Fastpass photographers that I have ever had experiences with have been absolutely great. They can also get what they call magic shots, which is when they basically edit in like a Tinkerbell or I think in Animal Kingdom they had Simba and some of the other characters from The Lion King on the ground, and we all had to make like an oh my gosh face and like hold our hands out like we couldn't believe it. I'm trying to think of what else. I know that they have a new magic shot for Epcot's Flower and Garden Festival this year, and that's the little orange bird that everybody loves. But there are just all different kinds of magic shots that they do for each different park, and they are really, really cool. You can also get all of the ride photos when you have the memory maker. So, like I said in the previous tip, you basically just walk up at the end of the ride, you look at your photo on the screen, and under the screen will be the little circle with the Mickey ears for you to scan your Magic Band. You, boop, scan your Magic Band, and voila, it is there. It is right there on your memory maker, and you can see all of those ride photos. Some of them even include some cool videos, like the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train will come with a cool video when you've saved your ride photo onto your Magic Band, and that's super, super neat. And also the memory maker will come with like extra shots, so it'll come with like a really beautifully done professional portrait of the castle, you know, things such as that you can only get if you buy the Disney Memory Maker. I've also heard that if you give the Fastpass photographers a little bit of a sly tip ahead of time, they could potentially capture photos of a secret proposal. So that is something to definitely look into if you are planning a trip with the intention of possibly proposing while you're there. With the opening of Pandora, the land of Avatar at Disney's Animal Kingdom, everyone is of course wanting to try out the attractions in the Avatar area. So your best bet is to Fastpass Avatar's Flight of Passage and rush to get in line for the Navi River journey at Rope Drop. And if you happen to not know what Rope Drop is, it's basically when you get to the park early, you wait for them to actually open the park, so you've already scanned it and everything, and then you're just kind of waiting for them to release you to go to the park, and then you get released so you can go to whatever attraction you want. That's when you would go to Navi River Journey, hop in the line, get on that and ride that first thing, and then from there, wait around for your Fast Pass for Avatar's Flight of Passage while enjoying other Animal Kingdom attractions. This next one is one that a lot of people don't even realize exists, which to me is kind of funny because while it is super cheesy, it's also really cute, and I've enjoyed it the few times that I have seen it. And it is the Electric Water Pageant, which is held on the Seven Seas Lagoon and Bay Lake. It was originally presented as a dedication for the Polynesian luau on October the 26th, 1971. And it has several showtimes throughout the evening, so I'm just going to read these off to you without trying to look down 110 times. The first one is at Disney's Polynesian Village Resort, and that's at 9 p.m. The second is at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa, which is at 9:15 p.m. At 9:30 p.m., you can catch it at Disney's Wilderness Lodge. At Disney's Fort Wilderness Campground and Resort, you can see it at 9:45 p.m. And at Disney's Contemporary Resort, it either begins at 10:10 or immediately after the commencement of the fireworks in Magic Kingdom. And then on any night when Magic Kingdom has extra magic hours in the evening, you can catch it directly outside of the entrance to the Magic Kingdom at 10:35 p.m. If you have been to Disney World even one time, you probably already know this, but I'm just going to put this out there for any of the people who have never been or who are planning to go and haven't been in years. The Fantasyland waits are ridiculous. They can be absolutely way too long, especially when you have kids, and of course, Fantasyland is full of all the kids. It's just when you're hot in the summer and miserable and the waits are ridiculous, it is hard to have the desire to want to ride some of those things or to wait for some of the characters, but yet some of the best things, the most nostalgic Disney rides, are actually in Fantasyland. So you'll want to plan accordingly and try to go to Fantasyland your first thing in the morning or the last thing that you do in the evening, especially if you catch it during extra magic hours. You can also do your shopping late in the evening as well, and this will definitely help if you've been looking for that perfect souvenir to take home all day long and you couldn't find it. You can shop on Main Street USA in the Magic Kingdom, as well as on Hollywood Boulevard in Disney's Hollywood Studios for about 30 to 60 minutes after the park's official closing. The second to last tip that I have for you guys is to be aware of all the locations where you can spot a character, especially for meet and greets. You will notice that at Magic Kingdom, that is the only location that you can see Ariel in her fins. There are 2 dining locations where you can see her in a dress with human legs, but if you want to see her in her under the sea glory, you have to visit her at her grotto in Magic Kingdom. However, there are some characters, such as Snow White, that you can see in Magic Kingdom and wait 40 minutes for, or you can catch her in 10 minutes at the Germany Pavilion at Epcot. You'll just want to try hard to make sure that you know all the available locations for that character, especially if the line looks horrendously long. Now, that does bring me to another point, that a lot of times your kids are going to want a picture with Mickey in every outfit that they see him in. Oh, this is Sorcerer Mickey, but this one over here was this Mickey, and this one over here was this Mickey. Yeah, it happens. I've seen, just for instance, when we took our little cousin, he had to have a picture with Sorcerer Mickey, but he also wanted a picture with the Mickey Who Talks. And then there's all the Donalds. There's the Donald at Animal Kingdom. There's a regular Donald. There's the Donald in the circus area, Magic Kingdom. There's the Donald in the Mexico Pavilion from the Three Caballeros. You know, every outfit. The kids are going to want a picture with the character in each and every outfit that is available for that character. One of the absolute most important tips on this list, and of course a quick money saving tip, is to make sure that you stay hydrated and also save money by requesting a glass of water at any counter service location. They will give it to you for free. You can even request a large and get that for free. You can use it to fill up a water bottle that you brought in, or just, you know, have that with your meal. But that is honestly one of the easiest ways to make 100% sure that you stay as hydrated as possible, especially if you're there in the really hot summer months. And of course, save a little money by not buying the $4 or $5 bottled water at kiosks just hanging out around the park. Now, there are also locations at each park that are essentially attractions or some form of entertainment that are great for relaxing and recharging during the day. I'm going to list off these locations for each park, and hopefully you can enjoy them while you're there. I like to try to spread everything out so that these locations are in between several other attractions, especially if I know that I'm going in the summer. Then I can plan, okay, I'm going to do a couple of things that are at least mostly outdoor. Most of the queue is outdoor or something of that nature. And then do these to cool off. Most of them are air conditioned, or do them just to have a little bit of downtime. I have accidentally taken a nap during some of them before, but of course it's stuff that I've seen many, many times over. Not that I don't enjoy them every time that I go back in, but, you know, when you're hot and tired and sweaty and you need more water, you tend to want to take a nap. So try not to fall asleep during some of these, but they definitely do work well as a way to relax and recharge so that you can enjoy the rest of your day in the parks. The list of attractions for the R&R, relaxing and recharging at the Magic Kingdom, is pretty long. But we're going to start with the Tomorrowland Transit Authority's People Mover. This is super cool because you can ride around basically above Tomorrowland. You'll go through several attractions, but you definitely will want to get on this one, take a moment to relax, but also to look around the park because you can see above everything. You get really cool views of the castle, so make sure you keep your camera out during this. And then, of course, you can usually stay on. They rarely ever make you get off of the ride, and just keep going around and around until you're either sick of it or until you feel like, okay, I'm relaxed. Now let's go on to the next thing. There's also the Enchanted Tiki Room, the Country Bear Jamboree, the Carousel of Progress, the Hall of Presidents, the Liberty Square Riverboat. Now, this one is not an indoor attraction. It usually is pretty cool because you're at least, on the water, and it's, you're moving not super fast, but quickly enough that you get a little bit of a breeze while you're going. And that also kind of goes with the Main Street vehicles and the Walt Disney World Railroad. Not actually air-conditioned attractions, but definitely things that you can relax and recharge while you're riding. There's also, for air-conditioned attractions, you have the Mickey's PhilharMagic, and you have the Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor, which you might not be doing much relaxing during the laugh floor, but it definitely will give you a great laugh if you're just stressed from the crowds. We have had our share of laughs, one specifically including my mother and father-in-law, which is something that I would love to talk on in a different video, but we've had some real laughs from that attraction. In Epcot, here is the list of attractions that I believe is best for relaxing and recharging. The first is the American Adventure. You also have Disney and Pixar's Short Film Festival, the Grand Fiesta Tour. featuring the Three Caballeros. First off, I love the Three Caballeros, so it'll be like on my favorite ride list, on my most relaxing ride list. I love that ride. I will go on it a ridiculous amount of times if someone will let me. But it definitely is. I mean, it's like in the back of the Mexico Pavilion, and I mean, you have to like go past the stores and everything to get to it, and it's just like dark and cool and super, super nice when you are there in the heat of summer. There's also Living with the Land, Oh Canada, and Reflections of China. At Hollywood Studios, we have Muppet Vision 3D, Beauty and the Beast live on stage, Disney Junior live on stage, Walt Disney Presents, which if you're into like the history of Walt Disney at all, or you really like basically following the story of how Disney came up with everything from Mickey Mouse all the way through all the movies, the theme parks, go to Walt Disney Presents. It is super cool. It's basically a walkthrough of his start. And then usually at the end, you can go to, there'll be a sneak peek of some film. I think right now it's A Wrinkle in Time. When we went before, it was for the second Alice in Wonderland movie. But yeah, you can definitely relax. Like it's a walkthrough attraction. So you'll walk through it. You'll go through and you'll look at all the things. There are benches, places to sit and enjoy it. But then when you get to the end, there'll be a 2 or 3 minute, maybe even 5 minute sneak peek of a film. And so you sit down and you watch that sneak peek, and then you can go back outside. There's also the Frozen Sing-Along. You have Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular and the Voyage of the Little Mermaid, which I personally like. A lot of people don't sound like they like this very much, but I enjoy it. So in Animal Kingdom, you have Festival of the Lion King, which is a show that you're actually pretty involved in, but it's definitely in a cooler space, and you can definitely relax, get out of the heat for a little bit, and just enjoy the show. And then you have Finding Nemo the Musical, the Kilimanjaro Safari, and I have never rode it before, so I can't say for sure, but I have been told the Navi River Journey is also great for relaxing. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this Disney Tips video. As I said before, if you have any questions, please put them in the comment box below. I would love to try and answer them for you the best that I can. If you have any suggestions for further Disney Tips videos, or if you'd like to see a Universal Tips video next, please let me know, and I would love to make that for you. I will see you guys on Wednesday. Bye-bye.